you guys, this is Alyssa with Redemption Threads, and today I'm super excited to be sharing the story of how I started my first embroidery business in high school. But before we get into all that, if you wouldn't mind taking just a second to hit the subscribe button, it helps me so much just to be able to continue to make videos, to do tutorials for you guys, share stories with you guys. This has been so much fun and I've super enjoyed it. But I need you to hit subscribe, and it will also help you because you'll learn more about your embroidery machine, about how to make all kinds of cool things with your embroidery machine. So hit subscribe so you can see my new videos. Thanks. So first I want to talk about why I wanted to get into machine embroidery in the first place. So I learned how to sew probably when I was around 13 years old. I had a friend kind of teach me the basics, how to look at a pattern, how to outline the pattern, how to sew the pattern together, how to read the pattern, all the things. So I started getting really into that. So I learned how to sew. And I grew up in South Georgia, like super South Georgia, where everything is monogrammed. Like your backpack's monogrammed, your sweatshirt's monogrammed, your glasses case is monogrammed, your shoes are monogrammed, like everything's monogrammed. And so embroidery was a big thing. So anyways, I wanted to monogram stuff for people. I wanted to make gifts for people. And so that's where kind of my interest peaked a little bit. So my pastor's wife, she actually had a sewing machine that also did embroidery. So she had me over one day and just showed me how to do basic embroidery. We sewed a cute little circle pillow together. I think I still have it. I need to look because that would be super cute. And we put it was blue and it had a zebra print outline on the outside. And then we put a hot pink monogram in the middle, and little teenager Alyssa thought I was something. Like, it was awesome. So this super sparked my interest in embroidery, and I thought about it, and I looked up embroidery machines, and as you guys know, they are not cheap. They're so expensive. So I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get an embroidery machine and pay for it? My parents couldn't do that, and so I was like, what am I going to do? So I found one option where you could buy the embroidery machine and you could pay it off later. So I was like, oh, keep in mind, I'm only like 14 or 15 years old. And so I talked to my parents, and they're like, we trust you. Like, if you think you can pay it off, you should do it. And then you have to sell stuff and you have to work hard to be able to pay this machine off. So this was, 10 plus years ago. I just turned 30. So this showing my age here. But anyways, 15 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, so machines are a little bit cheaper than they are today. And I got the most basic one. I think it was about $500, but $500 was a lot to me. I didn't have money, so I didn't have a job at that point. I just did some babysitting here and there. So I bought the machine and did the pay it later option, with the understanding that I would need to pay this machine off. I think it was like within a year or something like that. So I think the machine was a Janome E200, if I remember right. And y'all, that was the best machine I've ever had. I'm not even kidding. Like, okay, I have the multi-needle now, or not the multi-needle, but the single needle with the free arm now. And this one probably is the most like practical one I have, like because I can do so much with it. But I also have a Brother PE 800 right here, and it's really great. I like it. But the Janome, just plain Jane, like entry level, I thought the stitches were such good quality. So anyways, keep going. So I got that machine, super excited. I learned how to use it. I looked up all these YouTube videos, just like I'm making for you guys now. It's just so cool to see how it's gone full circle. And I just started making stuff. So I started out by making stuff that I would want to buy. So it's like, what would I be interested in purchasing? Because I didn't just want to make junk that wouldn't sell. I wanted to make it worth my time, and I had already put all this money into a machine. I didn't want to just like make inventory that wasn't going to sell. So in the South where I grew up, like I said, monogram things were a thing, and at the time pocket t-shirts were a thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but little pocket t-shirts with some like a monogram, like that was in. So I found a file on Etsy of how to make like in the hoop pocket t-shirt, and I bought like a few different fabrics, and I made a Facebook page. So I want to say I started with my own Facebook page and kind of like got a few orders that way. I made one to show. So you always, I think it's really good to make one that you can show your work, not just a picture of somebody else's work. And I got a couple orders for that. So I like made a few. Then I started a Facebook page, and on the Facebook page, that's where I started listing the things I was making. And so I invited all my friends on Facebook to join it, and a lot of them did. And when I would post things, I would share it, other people would share it. And so I just started getting orders that way. Do you guys want to know my business name? It's kind of embarrassing. My first business name. It was called Once Upon a Monogram. So yeah, that's what I did in high school. And so I want to say I started doing pocket t-shirts. I started doing some patches on some hats. I learned how to do that. And I started doing just basic embroidery, like monogram on sweatshirts. I did a few kids shirts, like with the little applique and the name under it, and those sold super well. And I always made sure as I was making sure I was making profit on it, whether it was $10 or whatever, like I just wanted to make sure I made some kind of profit. And so just along and along, I was like putting orders out of several a week, and I just continued to post what I made. And by, I want to say 6 months after I bought that embroidery machine, I had paid it off. And so I don't say this to be like, look at me and look at all these things I did. I say this to say anybody can do it. If you work hard and you work hard to understand the machine and work hard to understand how to do embroidery, like I think anybody can do it. I also want to take a second to say, like, I think it's the Lord that blessed me and blessed my business. I prayed a lot during that time, and I asked God to help me pay off this machine, help me to get orders, help me to prosper in this business. And he did. Like, he answers prayers like that. And so I really depended on the Lord during that time to help me grow my business, and he truly did. And I don't think that happens in all seasons of life. Like, there have been seasons where I haven't grown like I would want to. But I think during that time, like, the Lord really blessed me. And so I give him all the praise and all the glory for all he's done in my life and in this business. So all that to say, like, I think anybody can do this. I think you can do this. And I want to give you just a couple tips on how you could go about starting your own business. So what I would do starting out is I would say, what am I interested in making? What am I passionate about? What kind of people am I around? So in my case, it was the people in South Georgia who are super into monograms, super into kid shirts, super into pocket t-shirts. So what are the trends right now? What are people into? But just not that, but what am I into making? And I think, like, if you're not enjoying what you're making, it's not going to be fun, and you're not going to want to do more. So for me, I loved doing pocket t-shirts, and I loved doing the little kids shirts and things like that. So find the thing that you're excited about. There's so many different avenues of things you can make with machine embroidery. Like, you could get, bigger hoops, and you could do the mama sweatshirts that people are making, or you could do patches for hats like I had mentioned, or you could make bag tags and sell them. You could monogram bags, Easter baskets, like the list goes on and on. So do a little research and figure out what's out there, what's selling, what you want to make. Secondly, I would say make sure you're making profit. So you want to look into the blanks. You want to look into the time it takes you to make it. You want to just look into your materials, and you want to make sure you're making some kind of profit on there. I would say start small. Obviously, the goal is not to always only be making like $10 an hour on an item, but you could start there when you're just learning and you're just needing a few things to test, and start with $10. And once you start getting orders, like, up that a little bit till you can work your way up, and your time is worth a lot. And so I would say, start building that of the demand of things you can make. So I would say just start building that of what you can charge. It might take some time to build up, but I would just say one step at a time and just keep working hard. So the last thing I want to say in this video is be consistent. Like, don't just post once and walk away from it or give it a few months. I would say, like, try to make a goal. Okay, I'm going to post one thing a week of something that I've made that I'm going to sell. I'm going to post 2 things a week, or whatever that may be. So stay consistent. Make a page that people can know what to expect. They can know, like, hey, Alyssa's going to post here. Open it up, like, get the word out. Let them know, hey, I'm going to be making whatever you want. Like if somebody needs a hat, like let me know. If somebody needs a shirt, let me know. Like you just want to keep posting so people are aware that you want the business. So just to finish up, I think that I am going to make more videos in the future of how to start a business. But for this video, it's more just, this is my story of what God's done, and this is my journey of starting an embroidery business. That was 15 years ago. And so I actually put it down for a while, and then I came back to it recently, and so I'm gonna share the rest of the story later. But hit subscribe, that way you can see it pop up. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and just continue to see the videos that I make. Thanks for watching.